Today, these foolish friends
Oh, okay. He wants to look handsome.
met to talk about their lives. Let's see what happened to each one after 20 years that passed without seeing each other.
Hello. Well, I will tell you how my life has been. When I was a kid, I always wanted to study engineering. I always liked mathematics, English, and school in general. But the things didn't go as expected. I always liked music, and even though I didn't think it would be possible, that maybe one day I would have the opportunity to enter in that business, I did achieve it. Well, 15 years ago, I started in the music industry. I was a famous trap star and icon model, like a rock star. It was amazing. Tour, success, parties, among other things. I won several awards like Billboards, Grammys, and other, but I made a lot of money, honestly. But there came a time when I was involved in many scandals, vices, and bad things. That is why I left all that behind to reform, and now I am a businessman. I have my company that owns several hotels around the world. I got married, I have an amazing son, a wife, and a pet. Her name is Julieta. Now we are very happy together. Just now I have been living in my own island. Yes, I bought an island near Barcelona because I'm one of the owners of the FC Barcelona.
Hi, I'm Barbara, and this is what I've done in my life. When I was in high school, I wanted to study criminology. I was very interested in this career because I felt it was very complete, but I could not study because it was too expensive and my parents couldn't afford it. So, my parents encouraged me to search for other careers. I looked online at my possibilities and I actually found something interesting. The very first thing I had to do was to finish my French course. When I lived in Canada, I took some French classes in school, but I needed to finish studying so I could have a certificate that I knew French. After that, I took a flight attendant course and they gave me my license to work. Once I had my license, I was very happy because I would be able to work as something I actually always liked. It was amazing to travel all over the world. I was so happy to have finally reached my goals. And maybe these jobs aren't really amazing for some people, but I'm very happy that I work as something that I love, that I do something that fills me of happiness. I worked as a flight attendant several years, and I actually really loved it. But one day I said to myself, I want to study what I always wanted to study. I want to be a criminologist. So I paid myself the school. So please remember, it's never too late to do what you love. Thank you for listening to my story.
Good morning. Hello, teacher and classmates. My name is Brian. I am 45 years old and I'm an architect. How did I decide this career? Oh, sure. Let me tell you. At the beginning, it was very easy because I remember that when I was 6 years old, my parents gave me my first Lego construction toy. I remember that it took me a lot of work to build one of the three possible constructions, but with time, I managed to improve. I always like them because you can build wherever. When I reached puberty and entered high school, I had a teacher who made me love physics as you can imagine. At that stage of my life, I always say that I would study to be a physicist. I forgot to mention that at that time I was living in La Paz, BCS. After I left here and I arrived in Veracruz, my expectation changed and I wanted to be a chemist. After a long time of not knowing exactly what I wanted to study, I decided to be an architect because I am good at math, I have always been creative and meticulous, I am good at teamwork, I took a technical drawing course for 6 years and I was attracted to the idea. After finishing my studies, I started working in an architect's office where I accumulated experience for 5 years. While I worked there, I received an offer to work abroad as the principal architect of the construction of one of the most important hotel chains in Dubai called Sheraton Hotels and Resorts. After all that, I went back to Mexico and set up my own architect's office, which I now lead proudly.
Hello everyone, my name is Juan Guillermo Mari Marquez, and I work as manager to the company Tenaris Tamsa, region of Mexico, in charge of coordinating the import and export of all types of tubes worldwide. I achieved my current position thanks to many courses that I have done throughout my life. But I didn't always want to be what I am. The first profession that I wanted to have was doctor. I was at least 6 years old and I just thought, I will be my mother's doctor, so she will live forever. When I realized that the subjects of theory, such as history or biology, were very difficult to me, I decided to think about a career that had to do with numbers. I was 10 years old. I saw a novel with my mom where the protagonist worked as a civil engineer. So I researched about the profession by asking relatives or parents, and I like it. The fantasy of being a civil engineer lasted me at least 3.5 years, when I heard about nanotechnology in the second year of secondary, and I was fascinated when I investigated about this career. I was super determined to study this career that I had already thought about the university I would go to and the rent of my apartment. Unfortunately, it was not possible for me to go for economic reasons. Even so, I didn't understand at the time the necessary expenses to go live in another state of the country and the risks that could arise. And I kept obsessing about that career until in the fourth semester of high school I finally made my decision to study a degree in physics at UB of Jalapa. I took this last decision thanks to a person to whom I have a great admiration, and he is nothing more and nothing less than the legend, the chemical engineer Arturo de la Cruz Lazo, who was my physics teacher at the time, and he made me love the subject. Finally, he became my second example to follow. I asked to him to prepare me for the admission exam at that university, and I followed his advices to deal with the majority of professors. After all the university, I got work after a few months in the company Tenaris Tamsa, and I didn't stop studying, inform myself, and I have also taken courses as I said before, little by little climbing up to where I am. And I am very grateful to all the people I have met. I know that without each of them, I would not have become what I am. And if I have to give any advice to people, it would be, no matter how high you are, never forget those who helped you reach the top.
I know races.
Hello there, my name is Irving, and today I'm going to talk about how I became an architect. It seems like if it were yesterday when I was in high school, and me and my classmates talked about what we wanted to become in the future. But a lot of things have changed here. Remember, 20 years have passed since those beautiful old moments. So take it easy, I will tell you everything, okay? Don't be worried about it. When I finished my high school, I was very happy and excited for the next level, until I realized that I didn't really know what I wanted to study, so quickly I got sad. Even with all the sadness, I proposed to myself that I was going to do anything that made me happy. I tried to get an Oscar like Leo, but it was a fail. I tried to do boxing like Floyd, but it was another fail. I tried to be president like AMLO, but it was another fail too. For the first time in my life, I had lost my way in the world. I still remember those stress moments. But suddenly, an incredible and smart idea came to me from the sky. And I'm sure that you want to make me a question like, hey, what could be that great idea which you are talking about? Well, let me explain you. I have been good in two activities in my whole life, drawing and maths. So I decided to think in one career that mixes these two activities. That career turned out to be architecture. And finally, I realized that it was what I wanted to become since the beginning. I am glad a lot for talking to you about my history. I hope that you enjoy it.